Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the types of consolidated soils. In the present lecture, we will discuss about the computation of the void ratio. Okay. For that, we will use or we will obtain the results in the laboratory. So in the laboratory, we will use the we will use the experiment called consolidometer test, or we can also call it as a odometer test. We are conducting the compression test. So what is the experiment we are using? We are using the odometer test, and also we also call it as a consolidometer test. Consolidometer test. Okay. And what will be the consolidometer experiment, and how we will apply those things will not ask in the gate exam. Only the thing is, what are the results you will obtain after conducting the test. So the results are nothing but a we will plot the graph between void ratio and the corresponding effective stress. We will plot the graph between void ratio E and the effective stress I'm representing with the sigma dash. Okay. Now let us see how can we find the void ratio. Okay. So void ratio can be obtained in the two different methods. That is, first one is nothing but a height of solids method. Height of solids method. And also we will another method that is called the change in void ratio method. Change in void ratio method. Okay. Now let us see one by one. Before moving on to that, let us understand the behavior, that means the process of consolidation in the phase diagram. Okay. Let us consider a soil sample in the phase diagram. As we have already discussed, the consolidation will happen when all the voids are filled with the water, or we can say it is for completely saturated soils, especially for saturated clays, the consolidation will occur. Okay. If I'm taking some volume of sample, okay, and let us assume that, okay, if I am taking some volume, indirectly instead of the volume I will represent with the height. Why? Because my cross sectional area is same. That's why I will represent it only heights. So if let us assume total height of the sample, if I am considering it as a capital H. Okay. So out of the total H, let us say it is consisting of the solids, and the remaining all the voids are filled with the water. So what about the here? This I will represent as the height of the solids. Okay. Now let us say you are applying the long term. Let us say I am applying the long term static loading. If I am applying long term static loading, what will happen? Initially, all will be taken care by the water. After some point of time, the expulsion of water will happen. That means the water will start escaping from the soil. As the water is escaping from the soil, as the water is water is escaping, the height of the soil will be decreases. Let us say at some time, let us say at some time, let us assume that. So what is meant by consolidation? Expulsion of water from the soil. In soils, there won't be any change in the soil. Soils will remain constant, but where will be the change? Only the change is the height of the water. As the consolidation occurs, the height of the water will gradually decreases. So let us assume after some time t, here this is immediately after loading. This is what immediately. So it is after some time. After some time, what will happen? The expulsion of pore water pressure will start, and then because of that, the settlement is occurred. So the settlement is occurred just because of the escaping of the water. That means the height of the water will be decreased. Now this is what your height of the water. So what will be this remaining? It is nothing but a height of the solids. So what is the change in these two? Either you can express the settlement, either you can express in respect to the volume, or you can express in terms of the heights. Why? Because as in the cross sectional area it is always constant, we will express this in terms of height. So if I want to find out the volume, I can say it is a area into height. If my cross sectional area is constant, I can directly relate my volume directly proportional to the height. So what will be your void ratio? Your void ratio is nothing but a volume of voids to the volume of solids, isn't it? Now what we have to find here? We are finding the what is your change in the void ratio, or else we are finding the what is the void ratio present in the soil sample. Okay, so here we are using the heights of the solids and water for determining the void ratio. That's why here I will call it as a height of solids method. Height of solids method. Okay. Now, what is mean by void ratio? Volume of voids to the volume of solids. So if I want to represent in respect to the height, so all the voids are filled with the water. So here I can say height of water to the height of solids. So by seeing this diagram, we can find out, let us say, in somehow we can find out the height of solids, and I know the total height of the soil. So what will be my void ratio? What will be height of water then? Out of the total soil thickness minus height of the solids divided by height of the solids. So if we are using this relation, we can find out the void ratio at any point or at any instant. That means as you are conducting in the laboratory, as you are keep on applying the applied pressure, your height of the soil will also decreases. That means whatever the time you want required, your height of the soils will be directly known, and the number of solids are constant. That means HS is constant. That means at whatever the instant of the time in the experiment, we will directly get the capital H, and we already having the HS. So by using these two values, we can obtain the void ratio at any instant of the time. Understand? Now, so here the question is, how can I find out the HS value? Here, HS you can find out by using the relation that will be equal to WS divided by G into gamma W into A. So here WS is nothing but a weight of dry soil. Weight of dry soil you can call it, or else you can also call it as a weight of soil particles. In the dry condition, as air doesn't have any weight, we are calling it as a weight of dry soil. And here G is nothing but a specific gravity of soil, true specific gravity of the soil. And A is nothing but a cross-sectional area of specimen. Cross-sectional area of specimen. You already know the gamma W, right? So whatever the instant of the time, you can find out the H value. So depending upon that, always you can get the void ratio at any instant of the time. So this is how we will find out the void ratio by using the heights of solids method. Let us see the another method that is called the change in void ratio method. So let us see a change in void ratio method. Change in void ratio method. So in this change in void ratio method, we will find out the change in void ratio with respect to the change in volume. And again, the change in volume is directly proportional to the change in thickness. That's why Here I can see if I want to find out my change in thickness divided by original thickness. So if I want to compare with this volume, so how can I compare it? I can say it is a change in volume to the original volume. So again, if I want to compare this in terms of the void ratio, that will be in terms of change in void ratio divided by, it will be 1 plus C. Why? Because again the change in volume is directly proportional to the dry density. In dry density is directly proportional to the 1 by 1 plus C. That's why your change in volume is directly proportional to the 1 plus C. As I'm talking about the change in volume, I can see it is a delta E. So we can use the relation delta H divided by H, that will be equal to delta E divided by 1 plus E. As you are using the consolidometer at some instant of time, that means initially if the soil sample is height is 100 centimeter, after some time it has now become the 98 centimeters. So what is the change in thickness? Now delta H has become 2 and H is how much? 100 centimeter. At 100 centimeter we know the void ratio. If you substitute this value here, then we can find out the change in void ratio. So if you know the change in void ratio, then what about the final void ratio? Your height of the water is decreasing or increasing? Decreasing. That's why your void ratio also decreases. So what will be your void ratio at final? That is nothing but a initial minus delta E. So by using this relation, we can find out the change in void ratio. If you know the change in void ratio, based on that, we can find out the void ratio at any point of time. Okay. This is what simply about the determining the change in void ratio based on the change in height of the soil specimen. Okay. Now, suppose if I want to plot the results of the types of soils by conducting the in laboratory test, that is consolidometer or odometer, what will be my diagrams look like? My results will be, it is nothing but a effective stress to the void ratio. Suppose my effective stress here I am representing the sigma dash, and along the y axis I am considering it as a void ratio. Now if I am taking a normally consolidated soils, normally consolidated, let us talk about, as this phenomenon is applying in clays, I'll say normally consolidated clays, then the graph will look like this. Okay. Now that means as you are increasing the effective stress, your void ratio will be decreases. Understand? Now this is what in terms of the arithmetic scale. Suppose if I want to draw it in a semi log scale, this is very very important. If I'm drawing it in a semi log scale, then here I can get the linear line like this. So on the x-axis, I'm considering log 10 of sigma dash values, and along the y-axis, I'm taking the void ratio. So this is how the void ratio will vary if you are changing the effective stress in a normally consolidated clay. So these graphs are important. They can ask you in the image the following type. Similarly, if I want to see the variation over consolidated clays, then the graph will look like this. On an arithmetic graph, the diagram will look like this. That means if you observe those two diagrams, as you're increasing the effective stress, you can observe the more change in the void ratio, you can observe it. But the soils are past, it is consolidated, so you don't see much change in the void ratio. Similarly, if you are using the logarithmic scale, that means semi-log scale, that means on the x-axis I am taking log 10 of sigma dash. Along the y-axis I am taking the void ratio. Then the diagram will look like this. Okay. This is how the effect void ratio will vary with respect to the effective stress. Okay. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the compressibility parameters. Okay. Thank you.